All right, Dave, so these folks that are watching, they didn't get the chance to hear your talk. What was, in essence, the big message that you left with our leaders here in the room?
All of us who lead face a decision, and sometimes when we face that decision, most of the time, if it's a decision of size, we face fear.
Yeah.
And the only way to get through fear is a system, a series of things that I do that make me confident instead of not confident. And all of us, me too. I mean, especially in the early days, I didn't know what I was doing. And I didn't know if I was making the right decision or not making the right decision. So you don't make a decision, or you make the wrong one because you're just kind of floundering around and you're scared to death when you're doing that. I mean, I got 8 people working for me. One of them needs to go, but that means you're going to lose like, over 10% of your workforce. So I got to make this decision. Ouch. And I need a series of processes I go through that free me up to work through that fear and make those decisions, and that's what the lesson was on.
Yeah. We have a theme this week that our team is very proud of because we put a lot of thought into it because of this very issue, that fear is always there on some level for leaders, on all levels. Draw a line in the sand. Why did we choose that, and what does that mean to you and our team this week?
Well, we found out being here in San Antonio that Colonel Travis in the Alamo took his sword out and drew a line in the sand, and he said, those of you that want to stay and fight for the freedom of Texas, you want to fight for liberty, step on this side of the line. And that's where we all in our culture, a lot of people didn't realize, you draw a line in the sand. We throw it around just in our vernacular, draw a line in the sand, and it generally means get on my side with me, like it did with Colonel Travis, but it can mean if you step across that line, there's a fight.
That's right. Yeah, we're all in, and wow, what a theme. So throughout the event, we've got some world-class speakers, friends of yours, and you've been very selective. We don't just put a lineup together for sizzle. We want steak, and that's what we're going to give these people this week. For folks that are watching from home, they're going to get to meet many of those speakers right here on this stage. Why'd you pick those people?
Well, our team got together and did it. I didn't do it single-handedly, but one of the acid tests that we look at is, would I want to go to that conference? And I'm leading a business. I mean, these days it's 720 people. When we first started doing Summit, it was 400 people. We've almost doubled during that time, but the number of people doesn't matter. I still face the small business DNA thing, and I don't want to listen to someone that's just theory and out there, and how do I go home and actually apply that? I run a dadgum company every day, right? I want somebody that gives me some meat and potatoes that I can chew. When I get home, that's a takeaway, and what I spent on this conference, I'm going to make it back 10x on that one person's presentation. And who would I want to listen to? And these are all guys, and the interesting thing is most of them, if they weren't friends, by the time they come and I get to hang out with them, they are who I thought they were, and we become friends.
Yeah, it's a great lineup. I want to go back into your talk this morning. One of the things you talked about was the spineless leader, and that's such a rich metaphor in how you teach on that. Share a bit about that teaching.
Well, spineless leader is an oxymoron.
Sure.
You can't be passive leader. Those two words they don't even fit together. Yeah. I mean, that's ridiculous. It's postal service. I mean, it doesn't work, right? And so but the thing is, I have been around and I've sat with, and at times I have been, believe it or not, a passive leader. And then, as we said earlier, I had to go back to the DNA of that and say, because I'm about as not passive as anybody you ever meet. Why would I be passive? And every time I went back to it, I was insecure. Translation, I was afraid.
Yeah. When we talk about this idea of drawing a line in the sand, going back to the story you just shared moments ago of William Travis in that tattered fort, there was a mission, and he draws a line in the dirt and he says, basically, who's coming with me? And we know from history that most of the men stepped over that line and said, we'll fight even if death is the ultimate consequence. When you're trying to do that in business, create this, hey, step over the line with me, to me the word is trust. You started EntreLeadership as a brand within a small company, and now the whole company, Ramsey Solutions, has grown to be 700 plus. How big has trust been in developing from the early days and to even now, where you stand up in front of us on Monday mornings, and when we have major change or a situation that you need to address, there's great trust that has been developed in our company. How do these leaders essentially say, this you can trust?
You know, the only thing you can do is you can be consistent, and you always react to that situation in the same way. We may not like it, but we always know what the leader's going to do. The leader's going to do X in a Y situation every time. That consistency is a type of integrity. And so they have to be able to trust your honesty, which is a type of integrity. But if they can trust your consistency, they know where you're going, then it's easy for them to, be right there beside you when you get there. They don't have to anticipate your moves. You're not erratic and unpredictable. Erratic and unpredictable makes a leader very difficult to delegate. And it's because then you've got people, they don't know what they're supposed to do when you delegate to them, because they don't know what you're going to do. So again, that consistency builds trust. And the other thing you have to accept, and it's hard for me emotionally, I don't know how it is for you guys, but sometimes people start at one place on your team and they trust you, and over the years they trust you, and then God begins to take them somewhere else, and they stop trusting you.
Oh.
And as they stop trusting you, it's time for them to leave. And it doesn't have to be a nasty thing. Anytime you've left a job, you felt like that the honeymoon was over, and we had to move on to something else. And those people, and it's not that they all of a sudden, they often say stuff like, oh, I love you, Dave, I believe in your integrity, I believe in the cause, I just ...
Yep.
But all that means is they don't want to step over the line anymore. They don't want to take this trip anymore, because it's a hard trip. We demand a level of excellence, a level of work ethic that is bar none. I mean, we get her done, man.
That's right.
And we're not easy to work for, but it's fulfilling, and it moves the needle. And while you're doing it, it's really exhilarating. But you can't really exist in our environment. It's such a pressure cooker without that trust. So when the trust starts to leave, you have to be okay as a leader and let them go.
Yeah, that's not easy to do, is it?
No, it's hard for me. Because I get so into people. I mean, they become my friends, and you're my friends leaving me. It's like, oh God, it's so hard.
Yeah.
But over time, you start to go, God's got His hand on this. It's okay.
Yeah. And the flip side of that is somebody that is a high producer that you may not be friends with, or the friendship is really now become subservient to the problems that they're creating. So big time producer, but big time bull in a china shop as well.
Yeah.
We get this a lot from leaders. I see people shaking their heads right now, certainly in small business context. Gets back to fear again. What have you learned over your years of letting someone go that's causing problems?
Yeah, I don't care if you're going in the Hall of Fame. If you can't play with the team, you can't play on our team.
Yeah.
If you got a lot of talent, but one of your talents is you're not good with people and everybody around you doesn't want to work with you, you can't be on our team. Because a whole bunch of A players that don't work together, I'll take a bunch of B plus players, unify them that like each other, trust each other, work together, I'll kick your butt. I'll kick those A players' butt every time because they're not playing together. They miss passes, they miss ideas, they don't think, they don't care about each other. All they care about is shining themselves, and crap, fire that guy.
And you've taught us the reaction is what from the team once you make that leadership decision? How's the team react?
The team always just says thank you.
Yeah.
We have a leader, because they're sick of them too. I'm too cool from school, I produce, so I'm entitled. I need blue M&Ms in my green room. I mean, give me a break. You ain't freaking you too, buddy. Hit the road. This is not the deal. And so, we teach our Ramsey personalities. You guys, you're in a lot of stages, a lot of back rooms, and you're there to serve.
That's right.
You're not there to be a problem, you're there to solve problems. I'm there to serve when I'm speaking for someone. Chris Hogan's, Rachel Cruz, or Christy Wright speaking for someone. Yep. We're there to help. We're not there to be a problem. So my saying is always, I'm low maintenance. Water. Water's good.
That's
Maybe
right.
a cracker, but water's good.
Yeah.
And just, we're here to help and solve problems. That gives you much more joy than being the star.
Yeah. All right, quick preview for these folks watching from home. We got Chris Hogan coming up. We got Alan Mulally coming up. We've got Art Laffer coming up. It's going to be an action-packed, wisdom, knowledge-packed day.
I can't wait.
Give us a preview.
It's going to be awesome.
Fun stuff. There it is from the man himself. Hey, here in San Antonio, we show some love to Dave Ramsey, please. Yeah.